How's it going, everybody? It is Charlie, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. And happy Easter Sunday to everybody that is celebrating with their friends and family on this fine day. Actually, it's actually nice weather here in West Yorkshire, which is nice for a change, isn't it? Just before we get into this video, please make sure that you are smashing that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, and hit that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I am uploading content onto the channel. Please make sure that you checking out the membership features on the channel as well. And like I say, get your thoughts and opinions into the comment section down below, as we are here to preview Stoke City at home tomorrow. And yeah, what a massive day it could be for Leeds United. It could be a monumental day, couldn't it? And I'm trying not to kind of big it up too much in my head, because I do know how these things work, and Leeds United can do a league, as we've seen it in the past. But I just think with this group, and to be fair, with this manager, I just think we're built differently. I think we're made of different things. I think the squad is better balanced this season. We've got a lot more options, got way more better depth than what we did last season. Last season, we were Elland Road FC. This season, a lot of players have contributed in very different ways. You've got the likes of Rodon and Ampadu at the back, Strike at the back, Firpo, Bogle. You've had obviously Ampadu in the midfield. You've had Gruev, you've had Tanaka, you've had Joe Rothwell. You've had Gilavogi that's come on and added a little bit of experience just to close games out, which has always been an asset. You've got Mana Solomon, you've got Ramazani, Nonto, Perot, Bamford, Joseph, the list goes on. Dan James, of course. So, there is a plethora of options for Leeds United this season, which has helped us get to this point. And, we are now potentially just one game away tomorrow from being back to the promised land, obviously at the second time of asking. Last season was such a crazy season. We played catch up for the majority of it. But now, like I say, guys, we are on the brink of getting back to where we belong. And hopefully, if we have a better summer and a better recruitment team, we can do our utmost to stay in the Premier League next season, should we get there. But obviously, we've got Stoke City tomorrow, who are coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday on Good Friday. And I think they've actually won quite a few games recently, so they're in decent form. Since Mark Robins has took over, they have improved. He is a good manager at this level. I don't understand why City let him go, given the fact that he took them up the leagues to get to the Championship. Yes, they had a poor start at Coventry under Robins, but maybe if they'd have stuck with him, they would have turned it round. But I hate to say this, but Frank Lampard has actually done quite a good job at Coventry, hasn't he? But like I say, Stoke, I think, pretty much safe in my opinion after that win on Friday. But again, they'll be wanting to make 100% sure of that. We've got a very good goalkeeper in Victor Johansson, who I wish Leeds United would have gone for. I think they only signed him for about £1 or £2 million. It's an absolute steal. Again, I'm not saying he's on the level of a James Trafford or a Michael Cooper, but he's a very, very safe pair of hands at this level, and I think he would have made a difference for Leeds United. I really do. But yeah, like I say, I think Stoke will probably try and come out to play against us, to try and, put pressure on us. But again, I think that's just going to play into our hands. Oxford tried to play Leeds United at their own game in various spells of that game on Friday, and they just couldn't do it. Stoke City, yes, they're in decent form. The majority of the wins that they've had recently have been teams in and around them, so I'm not reading too much into it. We've got the better team, we've got the better squad, better manager, and like I said on the last night, which if you haven't already, go and check that out. If you weren't able to catch it live, go and check it out. but we need to make Elland Road as hostile, as toxic, as loud as humanly possible. Get in the ground for 20 a quarter to 3 tomorrow. Let's get the noise ramped up as early as possible. I'm even going to try and get down to Elland Road a little bit earlier than I usually do, just to soak in the atmosphere and get involved with the antics. Because, and again, it might not happen tomorrow, and certain things could happen tomorrow, which means it isn't the day we go up in terms of it being tomorrow. But I'm going to say it with my chest, I'm confident that it will be tomorrow. I'm confident that we get the job done at home to Stoke. And then all attention turns to Turf Moor, doesn't it? Where Burnley face Sheffield United in a massive game. It's a massive game for us as well. Obviously trying to gauge if we're going to go up or not. All eyes, whether you're at Elland Road and you stick around Elland Road like I will probably, or if you're watching at home, your attention will soon turn to Turf Moor, won't it? And yeah. But like I say, we've not had a press conference, which I don't think is that unusual given the tight turnaround and it being Easter weekend. So Solomon came off against Oxford with cramp, apparently. So he was pretty much, I think Adam Pope from the BBC tweeted out saying that it was just cramp and that he should be okay for tomorrow, which is good. I think Solomon the last few games has come into his own again after having a bit of a bad patch, but then again, I think it kind of coincided with when Leeds had their bad patch in general. Dan James obviously came off the bench against Oxford. Be interesting to see if Farker feels that he is fit enough to start the game. But it wouldn't surprise me if he just went with the same lineup, to be fair. But again, tight turnaround, players might have little niggles and stuff that they'll be nursing. So would I like to see Dan James come in? Absolutely. I think even if you can get 65, 70 minutes out of Dan James, hopefully he can have either scored or assisted or just cause the defence an absolute nightmare. Then you can bring on the likes of a Willing onto to tire them out even more in the closing stages. If I'm being totally honest, it could come back to bite him on the backside, but if I was a betting man, I say he keeps it the same. I think he'll see it as that it worked the other night, so it can work again. I think that's what he'll see it. If it was up to me, I would probably put Dan James in, even if he's 80% fit. I would put him in for this game because it could be massive. And then obviously, if we get the job done tomorrow and we do get promoted, the last two games you can maybe rotate a little bit more, because the only jeopardy that would be up for grabs there would just be who wins the league. Which again, if we win the league, it's a nice bonus at the end of the season. But as long as we go up in that top two, really not bothered. So yeah, my predicted 11 will be Carl Darlow in goal, followed by Jaden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Ethan Ampadu and Junior Firpo, Ilya Gruev and Al Tanaka in the double pivot. Like I say, I do think he'll keep it the same. So that would be Nonto on the right, Brendan Aronson in the middle, and Solomon out left, and Joe Pro up top. Like I say, if I was to make a change or two, I would put Dan James on the right, maybe put Nonto in the 10, or if he's not willing to put Nonto in the 10, I would drop Perot into the 10 and start Patrick Bamford. That's one other change that I think could be. It's a change that you could make in this sort of game without it causing too much detriment to how we have been going on recently, if that kind of makes sense. But again, I do think it'll just be the same lineup as Friday and as the Preston game as well. Which again, two decent performances and two very good wins. So again, you can understand his thinking. But yeah, I just hope that a decision like that doesn't come back to bite him on the backside. But I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. I think we'll have what I think, even if it is an awful watch and it's tense and it's nervy, which it will be. Of course it will. Unless we kill the game off in the first half, I can see it being a very nervy 90 minutes. But I think in the end we will just have too much for them. So tell you what, let's predict both games. So we'll start off with us, obviously, because we play first. So my score prediction for this one, I am going to go with I don't think we concede. I'll go 2-0 again. Why not? I'll go 2-0. I've said 2-0 in the last few games and we've gone on to win. So, yeah, hopefully that is the case again. So, yeah, 2-0. Joe Perreault again, I think, needs a goal. Hopefully gets one. And I will go with Solomon again. Ole, ole. And, yeah, 2-0 Leeds United win. But like I say, any Leeds United win will suffice. And then we've done our job then, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then we turn our attention to Turf Moor, Burnley, Sheffield United. I watched Turfcast earlier on. Obviously, Joe Redmond had Jimmy from the Blades Ramble and Connor from One Leeds on. It was quite a funny stream, actually. The chemistry between them all it is quite good to watch. So if you haven't already, go and check it out. It was streamed this morning. I watched it after the fact, but it was streamed this morning. So go and check that out on Turfcast. It's a very good listen. And I kind of agreed with what Joe was saying on Turfcast in a sense of, I think the Blades are going to come out all guns blazing first 15, 20 minutes. Try and kind of do what they did to us at Bramall Lane, where they absolutely stifled us, to be fair. But they only got the one goal. And if Blades can't score in that opening period against Burnley, I think Burnley will just grow into the game. And I think Burnley will be too much for the Blades in the end. Like I say, Burnley can afford to lose the game, to be fair, but I don't think they will. I just can't. They've not lost at home all season. Even we couldn't go there and beat them. It was that ball fest of a 0-0, wasn't it? Which I could see it being a 0-0 tomorrow. But if I'm honest, I'm going to go with a Burnley win. I hope. I'll tell you what, it'll either be a 0-0 or I think I'll go 2-1 Burnley. Can't see Sheffield United getting a result. And then if those things happen, if both those games turn out to be like that, then we will be promoted to the Premier League tomorrow. And that is scary to say out loud and put it out there into the atmosphere. But I hope it is party time outside Elland Road come 7:15 tomorrow night. I hope it's party time. And we can just have a nice end to the season with 2 more games left to play and feel a little bit more relaxed. Like I said, the only thing we'd be going for there is the title. If we don't get it, who cares, as long as we're promoted. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-0 Leeds win. And I'm going to stay on the fence a bit with the Burnley-Sheffield United game. I'll go with a 0-0 or a 2-1 Burnley to guarantee Leeds United promotion tomorrow, which would be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. Like I say, guys, if you've enjoyed this video and if you're enjoying the content on the channel at the moment, please make sure that you are liking it. It helps get it out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. Of course, I really would like to hit 4K as soon as possible. That would be amazing. Get your comments in. I want to know all your score predictions, your predicted 11s, how you're feeling, and give me your predictions for the Burnley-Sheffield United game as well. And check out the membership features on the channel. Like I say, guys, I will be at the game tomorrow. I'll probably do a match day morning show in the morning at some point. Not quite sure what time that'll be yet, but I'll keep you posted on socials. So we'll be getting all your guys' live thoughts and opinions on that. And then in terms of after the game, like I say, if it does happen tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be home until late on. So if there's no content from me tomorrow night, I will definitely get something out on Tuesday for you all. Don't you worry. So, yeah, like I say, guys, enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday, and I'll see you in the morning for the match day morning show. Cheers.